So recently, Parallels released a Parallels desktop version for the MacBook M2, which is pretty great, seeing as how the laptop has only been out for about a month now. So I am going to get into a few benchmarks and let's see how fast Windows on ARM can run under virtualization on a MacBook. Now, regarding installing and downloading everything, there are plenty of videos out there on the interwebs that will show you how to do that. I just wanted to do a quick benchmark, so I won't walk through the actual process of downloading and installing everything, but I may include some links in the description down below. Okay, let's fire up Parallels Desktop. Right now it's running with 3 gigabytes of RAM and 2 hardware processors. Alright, now I've already downloaded the latest version of Microsoft Edge, so that's going to give much better performance because it's running with the Chromium web rendering engine and the V8 JavaScript engine. So first, let's give a test on the web speedometer. So for reference, on my old Surface Pro X, I got a score of about 70 on this, on speedometer. So this is my third or fourth time running this, and we should get 150 on this speedometer, which is faster than any Intel MacBook that I know of, or faster than most of them. Because the fastest Intel MacBook that I have, the Core i9 with 8 processors, and 16 gigabytes of RAM, gets about 130 on this. So this is under virtualization, Windows on ARM getting 145. It looks like the MacBook Pro M2 is going to be the best Windows on ARM laptop. Okay, now let's run the Octane 2.0 JavaScript benchmark. And again, for reference, I get about 45 to 50,000 on my MacBook Pro 16-inch. And bear in mind, this is only 3 gigabytes of RAM running in a virtual machine. So anything anywhere close to 50,000 would be quite impressive, and much better than the Surface Pro X, which I had some time back. Unfortunately, I didn't record the numbers for that, but 41,000. So already this is a pretty high performing virtual machine with only 3 gigabytes of RAM and 2 virtual processors. So I'm going to shut it down and increase the RAM and increase the processors and see what impact that has on these two web benchmarks. Okay, let's push it up to 4 processors, which is, there's only 4 performance processors on this machine, and 4 gigabytes of RAM. Let's go ahead and start it up. It starts up pretty quickly also. The MacBook, the M1 chip, is revolutionary. That's all there is to it. Under virtualization, this thing trounces the Surface Pro X running natively. So, all right, let's try the web speedometer again. I would expect it to do better than 149, given that we've given more resources and more processing power to the virtual machine. And by the way, the Mac is running just fine in the background while it's running this virtual machine. I'm actually recording all this stuff using the Mac while it's running the virtual machine. Seems to be running much faster than it did before. So 152. Not as impressive as I thought it would be, but that's 152 as opposed to 141. So it's a 11-point increase with 1 gigabyte extra RAM and 2 extra CPUs. Not as impressive as I thought it would be, but it's still super fast. What that kind of tells me is that we can probably get away with leaving it at 3 gigabytes and 2 CPUs, because there's not that much difference. All right, let's try Octane. It was 14,000 before. Let's see what we get this time around. So if it was 41,000 before and we increased the CPUs by 2, I have no idea what it's going to be. Simple extrapolation, you would think that you would double the score and go up to 82,000, but it's not. It's only gone up to 47,182. Again, what that tells me is that we could probably get away with running everything we need to run in 3 gigabytes of RAM with 2 virtual processors, just for simple productivity stuff. If you need to run Word for some reason, or some other Windows program that you can only run under some other program like that you can only run under Windows, you could probably get away with running light productivity stuff with just 3 gigabytes of RAM and 2 virtual processors. I found out by watching 9 to 5 Mac that in settings there is an option to sync time with Mac OS or to not sync time. Set this to do not sync, because without it, it'll cause the Windows application to randomly hang. And I had lots of problems before changing this to do not sync. So go to options in the settings for your virtual machine, go to more options, and set the time to do not sync. And that's going to make this Windows on ARM virtual machine work pretty seamlessly.